Welcome to Attican Plays Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. All right, hi, this is Attican and welcome to Workers and Resources Series 4, Episode 6. Now, I'm not going to recap Episode 5. Go back and watch Episode 5. It was really a good one, if I do say so myself, mainly because it was contributions from everybody else, very little of my own work. And there was a lot of good stuff there, so go watch it if you haven't seen it. And when you come back, you can watch this one. This is a good one too, I think. We'll see. I haven't done it yet. But I want to start by actually talking about another comment. I got a comment on something in 5, and I've got this situation. I just started this and I just stopped it right here because it's a perfect situation to show you something. I got a comment that said, you had those lines going across like this, and eventually you got a traffic jam around, 25 minutes or so. There was a train going this way, train stopped. The train going this way was stopping this one from coming back, and there was a train going out this way, and it had to clear a semaphore before this train over here would move. Anyway, there was a traffic jam here, and the commenter said, well, if you had replaced the semaphore, I believe it was this one coming in here or this one here, with a chain signal rather than a regular directional semaphore, then the trains could have kept moving. Well, that's not true. Let me show you why. First of all, let's go up here. And this whole thing, I've stopped this right here at this point because it's a good way to illustrate. Let's say we've got this train that's coming out of this platform, this station. And let's say we had a train right here that was looking at that red semaphore right there, right? Well, what happens is, if this is a block signal, by the way, if we look at our signals, or a chain signal, that's a chain signal right there. So that chain signal is red. Well, why is it red? There's an open space right here. It's red because a chain signal looks into the block immediately in front of it and says, are you clear? That entire block has to be clear. And then it looks to see if there's a space you can go after that block that you can chain into, that you can go into, that's also free. Well, this is free here, but the block is not because this train is coming out. And that makes perfect sense in a way, because if this train is coming here, this train's coming out, and this one said, okay, well, I can go. Boom, we've got a collision, we lose two trains. So that's how the chain signals work. They look at the block right in front of them, and they look at the next block out of there to see if there's a place for your train to go. And a simple directional signal would just look here and say, can I go into this block or not? It wouldn't care about whether there was a green up here. It just says, can I go into this block? Yes or no? Which is really, in effect, the same thing. So down here, most of the time, let's go back and say, now this is the opposite direction of the specific problem that we were talking about in the last one, but it's the same idea. Watch what happens. Do you see this signal right here that says green? So this guy can go and this guy can go. Well, why is that? Because obviously he's looking at his next block and it's free. This train is in this block looking at its next block. It's free. But watch what happens if I go like this. If I take a piece of track and go across like so and just put it in planning mode, look at that. What happened? That guy turned red. Why did he turn red? Because now I have made both of these tracks into a single block. By putting that connection in there, both of these tracks, the one going down our screen, the one going up our screen, are one block as far as these signals are concerned, and they are looking at that and saying, no, you can't go because there's a train in here. And by the way, look at that. When I put that in there, that's a defect. This thing, half the train got chopped off. Don't forget, this train is sticking out here. It's actually out here. That's a absolute defect right there. But anyway, we've got this, and we haven't even built it. It's just a planned thing, which, by the way, that's another great lesson to learn. When you're planning your track, you have to set your, and I talked about this in 5 as well. When you are planning your track, you have to go ahead and set semaphores for it, or your existing lines will not work properly because it works just like that track was real. It had already been built. Now, and just to show you, if I go back and take this out, see there, it turned back to green. So I'm going to put it back in. We didn't get our half train back yet, but see, that's too tight. Anywhere I put it, there, it turns red. Now, let's just say, okay, well, yeah, but wouldn't a chain signal look ahead and say, hey, you can go right through here? No, it won't. So to prove that, let's take the chain, let's turn this into a chain signal. It's still red. If I take this connection out, I crash. And by the way, I'm starting to have crashes constantly whenever I'm doing changes like this to crossovers and especially semaphores. It's just, it's getting pretty bad. I've had 5 crashes in 5 minutes. So we may see our Republic die well, not die. I'm not going to let it die. We may see our Republic be delayed. Here we go. Stop. All right, I got to stop in time. Got to make sure this train is in there, and you can see it is a full train. It's not a half. All right, so, all right. Well, this shows it taken out. So now, if I put that planned line back in there, like so, I tear my train in two. But notice this one went red. But if I go take a chain signal, and hopefully it won't crash this time. Look at that. The chain signal is red also. Why is it red? Again, because we've created all of this into a single block. And the fact that this train is in this side means that this block is occupied, and not even a chain signal has any magic that will allow us to go up through here. Now, truth be told, should we be able to go up through here? Of course we should. What does a train coming down like this have to do with a train going up like that? Even if there is the possibility of crossing over. But the signals in this game right now are very simplistic, and they just look at that block and say, hey, it's busy, I'm not going in there. Okay, so hopefully, and I'm even more hopefully, I'm hoping I'm not going to crash when I do this, but I'll take that back out, and I'm going to turn that back into just a regular signal. Notice this guy's confused, but he'll be unconfused once we start it back up. There he goes. There he got his bearings. All right, so we're back to running. So now, hopefully that helped. All right, let's talk about what we want to do in this session. Well, in the last one, I said I wasn't going to recap, but we did get this started. We've got a flat here that can walk over to all its needs, and that flat can walk over here to our university. And of course our point was to start the university. Now we haven't done anything with this station yet. We built it just as a placeholder. I could have left it planned, I suppose. But we've got our 3 trains running, which seems to be beautiful for getting all of our people up here to the refinery. Look at all this beautiful pollution we're creating, even though we only have 137 up there right at this moment. It varies, but it goes up to a pretty good number, and we're doing okay in production and okay in our economy. Remember, we're early. It's only April of our 2nd year. We've got a train running, hauling fuel, and he's just about loaded up and ready to go back and make us some more rubles. We've got some trucks hauling fuel and bitumen. I'm going to struggle with that word the rest of my life, bitumen. To Berislav to make us dollars, and we've got some trucks running over to Small Town. I won't even try that one. Small Town to make us some rubles, and of course we've got our train making us rubles. So, so life is pretty good. And so what we want to do now is continue to build out this population, and we want to really have a lot of activity in our refinery. Now we could go a different route. We don't have to say, oh well man, you just got to have all the exports you can get and everything has to be totally efficient. But it just grates against my nerves to think that we would intentionally build a system that wasn't really efficient. I mean, it just doesn't. I don't like that. I don't even like the thought of that. So let's move on. Let's keep building out these little puppies right here. And let's see, let's see, what are we exporting with dollars right now? We are importing, excuse me. This month with dollars, imports. Let's let this run for a minute and see what it's doing. And we've got our food, clothing, electronics, meat, and power, it looks like. We're not importing oil with dollars, but I think we're going to start doing that for a while. Look at this, 360 now. Now we're going to start doing. Let's start importing our oil with dollars. Here we go. Now we're seeing that coming in or going out, however you want to look at it. And the reason I'm doing that is to give us the best opportunity to build up our rubles so that we can make more rubles, because we need rubles to to populate, add people to these, and to do some of the building that we want to do. So we need some rubles. And by the way, once we get further along on this, we're going to need to set up this train line, and we're going to have to include the station in the routes and get movement going this way, because these first couple of, let's see, this one can walk. And when I say they can walk, it means they can go to the university, and you also can go over here to downtown and get needs met. This one cannot, I think can. He can do it. He can get to the, what we're really testing is, can you get to a kindergarten? Can you get to a school? Can you get to a hospital? Can you get to a workplace, be it a platform or bus stop or an actual place to work? And can you get to a shopping center where they sell food? If you can do that, you're good. So these three are all good, but I think this fourth one's where we're going to die. Yeah, see, the fourth one cannot make it all the way over there to the shopping. So at that point, when we get down here to this fourth flat, we're going to have to bring in our train system. But our train system, or expand our train system. And our train system right now is working. We're not going to mess with it. It's working. It's doing a good job getting people out of here in a timely fashion. I'll say that, and let me test it, and I'll bet you I fail. Let's see, this longest waiting guy, first guy in line, we failed. So I said it and we failed. All right. So we're doing a pretty good job getting workers up there. And when I mean failed, what I mean is that a potential worker went there, wanted to go to work, waiting on a train. They will only wait 1 hour. If a train doesn't show up in an hour, they'll look around and see, can I walk to a place to work here? And if they can't, they just go home and put their feet up and be lazy. So we don't want that. Let's see, rubles, dollars. Let's build another flat. And let's see what we got for population. Okay, we got a full prefab over here. All right, Paradox Bound, I'll make you happy. I'm going to move some people over here. I moved a bunch of people over there. And how are we doing on births and deaths and such? Let's look at the year. Last year we had a beautiful year. No escapes, almost 3,000 births and 1,700 deaths, and a bunch of immigrants, of course. But a beautiful year, a beautiful year. We're over 3,000 population already. I think that's pretty good. I don't have anything to benchmark that against except my own play, but I think that's pretty good. Let's see, 90. Let's bring in some more. Do we have any more really full? They really need to. I don't know if I've said this already. Forgive me for repeating myself. We really need a view that shows us the density of population in these flats, so that I don't have to go through every single flat and see, which one's crowded and which one's not. And these people will move automatically. Like if we get too many people in here, they will move. And Modak, you mentioned 21 plus. I don't think we've had one yet in the game. I haven't noticed any, and there's certainly none now that we want to move, of course. We won't want them living with their parents. I think this one here had a pretty good. Let's take a few people from it. and put them over here. Okay, so what's our university looking like? Pardon me. We still are in bad need of professors, but again, I'm hoping over time that the university will have more and more university educated people who can then, some of them, to return to their roots, so to speak, go back to their favorite place, their college, and contribute to society by teaching. All right, so we've got an empty flat here. Let's bring some people in. Are we going to crash again? Oh, I just brought a bunch of... Was I hitting the wrong button? Oh my goodness, I just hit dollars. Oh my word. We need these trucks to get over here and give us some money just so we can have power. All right. These imports have got to go back to rubles. Man, that was pretty stupid, wasn't it? Yes, it was. I'll answer my own question. Yes, it was. You notice our ambulance, that ambulance there, he actually went over here to get fuel. So eventually we'll want to put some fuel in here and make it more efficient. But for right now, not worried about it. And there's an ambulance getting a patient from this place here. Now I just brought on board, I think in this one, a bunch of immigrants from the third world. They were cheap, although they almost killed us because they ran our dollars down to zero. They were cheap, but they're also very much uneducated. You're not getting college grads, and you're getting some probably less than healthy people as well. Look at this, 49% health, uneducated, cannot work because he's uneducated, but certainly likes to have our food, meat, and clothing. So we've either got to get this person educated or he's not going to contribute to society at all. So I just made a big goof there. Way to go. All right, this one, when we hit this one, we're going to need our fourth, at least a fourth train, if not a fifth train. So before we jump down that road, let's just check how we're doing here. Fuel, we're pretty much keeping up with. Bitumen, we could probably be selling a little bit more. It wouldn't kill us to have a couple more trucks. Let's get a couple more oil tank. And let's have them go from here. Let's go over to a small town, make some rubles. So you're going to load to your 100% full of bitumen. I'll just alternate how I say it. You'll get bitumen, and you'll unload, and you'll go, and you'll copy your route to this guy, and this one will go. All right. Now our train is back and loading up fuel. Good deal. And our dollars are recovering, and our dollars are still bringing in all our imports here. So we've got a nice thing going with the dollars, even though I tried to destroy it there for a while. How are we looking on? Workers are poor up here. I'm not sure why. Probably could use another train, but here's what we're going to do with our train. We're going to build this flat, and then we're going to have some fun here. And I'm a little concerned because I've been getting so many crashes when I'm doing changes to signals and crossing track. But fingers crossed, we'll get into it here in just a moment. All right, so here's the deal. What I would love to have, well, that might work. It might work. I want to have one train that just kind of goes back and forth here and takes care of the people here who want to have their needs satisfied, want to go downtown. They can go in here. And then we know our 3's working pretty well. We saw a failure there, but basically it's working pretty well. And I think that failure was an outlier. I don't think that was Okay, here's a train leaving. Let's just test it one more. We're going to take the person who got there first. They've been there for 8 minutes. Let's just see if a train gets back, because there's nothing close. It's all the way up here, and it's even stopping for fuel. So this is a good test. We may fail this one too, because that train actually stopped for fuel. Worst possible case, as far away as it could be practically, it stopped for fuel. And does it get this guy in time? It did not. Notice how he left. But the good news was he was able to find a place to work. He went to the fire station and went to work at the fire station. So we did have a failure there, but that was one where the train was as far away as it could be and stopped for fuel. Ah, we got a fire. Where's our fire? In a shop. Oh, right here. Our main shop is on fire, but the fire truck's right there. So already taken care of. Good job, guys. All right, so again, I think this 3 is working. I'd like to run one train back and forth here, and let's see. We could run I understand there are the motor wagons are diesel train. Now, here's my concern with that. If I run this, I think I think we can run it, and it'll just go up here if it needs fuel. The problem it'll have, though, it'll go up here, get fuel, and then it'll try to turn around. I know it will, because I've seen that in Series 2. I had that problem constantly. So if we're going to run that little diesel tram, we're going to have to put a diesel station here. If we're going to run the electric trams, we're going to have to make this electric track and electrify it. I don't want to mess with that. So we're going to run a train set. And I didn't know this until I looked at this guy. If you click on him, you're going to get a giant one. It won't even fit. So we're going to run the same one. We know it works. And we're going to give it a line that says we want you to start here and go here. And just go back and forth, And crap, it's the same problem. It's the fuel problem. All right, even though we're going to run that, we're going to have the fuel problem. All right, this is what I planned to do originally. This is what we're going to have to do. What we're going to have to do, and here's the problem. See if I can describe it to you. You see how we've got a diamond here leading into this station and a diamond on the other side, because my plan was to have trains come in to either platform from either side. And I have used this model in the past, and it works perfectly. But I've done some testing, and for whatever reason now, it does not work, because what will happen is eventually it'll work for a long time, and then all of a sudden you'll have a train that's leaving the station. It'll come out like this, and another train will come down here and get right there, and they will be looking at each other, and your whole system will die because those two trains are looking at each other. So what I'm going to do right now, and by the way, in that testing, that's when I had crash after crash after crash. So I am going to do something I don't usually do as part of the playthrough, but I am going to do a save. Okay. And let's see if we can take what we're going to do is take these crossings out, and we're going okay, cross your fingers. There goes one, there goes the other one out, okay. Now we're going to redefine these trains so that they run. We're going to add the station again and this one. So now it's going to go to the main one, take people to the refinery. We can call this downtown. We'll go to downtown, go up to the refinery, back to downtown, over to, and this platform small is the university area. And it's just going to repeat that over and over and over. And that's the line, that's what we want all four of our trains to do. So that was this one right here. So let's copy that line and see if we can just paste it onto here and here. Okay, that worked. Now see how these are confused? That's because they thought they needed to come down here to this line and turn around, which they cannot do since we took out those crossings. But let's see if they don't get unconfused now that we added to their, yeah, there we go. Now they're unconfused because they can see a path. They can go straight through and straight through. So they can come down here and you'll always come in and be on the right hand side coming down, and when you go back up you'll be on this track, which is the right hand side for you. So yeah, that worked, and I'm almost tempted not to take out any of the signals because it was the combination of taking out. Now we want the diamonds at the ends because they have to turn around. That's where they turn around and come back, and we're always driving on the right hand side. So that should work. And in fact, we should be able to copy that. Gotta have this open. And copy this line and put it on this train. And start it. And now we should have a fourth train running that does the exact same thing. Okay, and now what we're going to have to do is watch these as they come in. See, he was doing his first run. We really want him to go to this platform next. So just go on down there, and that should unconfuse him. There we go. Next one may have the same problem. He does. I want you to go there next. Let's see what he's doing. We want you to go there next. He's okay. Okay, there we go. I think we got it. And eventually they'll straighten out to where we're putting people in the right place. We're low on workers now. We've had a little pause as we made our adjustments. Let's see what happens when we get these trains coming up here and loading up. See how that one stopped to let him get all the way out before it went on down? It could have, instead of going over there to the top, it could have gone to this bottom track, but it didn't. All right, so now we're getting some people into our refinery, and we should also be able to satisfy. Now here, we definitely want passengers. We actually do not want workers. I would like these people to work in the university. You know what? That's not true. We'll do workers as well. But we don't need any students getting on this platform. If they're a student, they need to be going to the school or the university. They don't need to be getting on the train to move over here to go somewhere. Okay, that should work. And we have nobody here. Bring some people in, and they will be good tests to see just how well this works. So we'll watch this Miyakina and see what Miyakina, we'll call her Mia. We'll see what Mia does. She's currently home. She's walking to the school, and she's working in the school. Good for her. I assume we'll say her. So she is teaching at the school, I assume, since she has Well, no, she doesn't have the college degree. She would be a staff person at the school. And her work shift's about to end, then she will just kind of magically end up back at home. There, she's back at home, and there's this usual delay, kind of somewhat unexplained delay. I'm not sure what's going on. And she wants food and sports. So what she should do, she's coming from here. She can't walk over. She should go to the platform. Oh, she could walk to the playground. That's interesting. And get her to do the sport thing first. There we go. And then she should be able to walk over to the food. Yeah, yes, she can. So in that case, she did a little leapfrog by having this first. She went over here. Now, if she didn't have sport in her requirement, and she would have started with food, in which case she would have had to get on the train. So let's watch one more just to make sure this works, so that you can get the idea of how you can take people from a neighborhood and move them to a downtown. Now, I did this a lot in Series 2, but a lot of you didn't watch Series 2. So here we are now. Mia's working in the kindergarten. Very versatile. These are all versatile. These people do not have workplaces. They just work wherever they can get to that needs somebody. It's kind of that simple. All right, now we're on our free time again. Food, meat, and sport. Now she's going to do the same thing. She's going to do sports again. I had to pick a sports nut, didn't I? I bet she does the same thing. She'll walk over to the sport. She'll come out and say, is there anything I can get to? Sure enough, there's the playground. She'll go over there and play soccer. Then she'll walk over for food and meat. And her problem right now is nobody's working there. So she's got a little problem. There we go. Finally, somebody showed up at work so she can play. Now she's going to the shopping center. It's a short walk. And she's getting food and meat. And her happiness is growing. All right, I want to find somebody to take the flipping train. Let's pick somebody else. Oh, here we go. Here's one who's not an athlete. Baltabev. Let's say goodbye to Mia. Baltabev is on the train platform, waiting on a train. He will only wait for an hour. Oh, he's on this train platform. Why is he on this train platform? Oh, I see. He got his food and meat, and he wanted to pray. So he went to the train platform in the hopes that the train could take him somewhere where there was a church. There is no church. We're not building churches. We can't build churches. So he could not get his satisfaction from the church, from praying. So let's see. Now he's working in the school over here, and he should be teaching. He has a university education. So let's look at one more of his free times and see what we're doing. See, we don't have nearly enough professors. Now, I really wish it would allow you to kind of limit how many students you had. I think I may have said this already, but I think that would be a nice control to have, to say I can only deal with 20 students right now. We're only admitting 20 people into our school. All right, he wants to drink food and alcohol. So we should see Baltabev get over here on the platform, and sure enough, there he is. And he's waited 10 minutes, and here comes a train. He hops on the train, and he's headed over to downtown, and he should walk straight over to the shopping center. There he goes. And he's almost instantly got his food. Now he wants a drink. He can walk over here to the pub, kick back a little vodka, and his happiness should go up significantly from this 60%. Once he hits 16 hours, we'll see a bump right here. Okay, went up to 66. Good deal. So that system is working fine, and we just want to keep blowing that up, I think, unless we're just creating more problems for ourselves. Notice how slow our oil is. we caught it when it was a low end of number of people. But every time we're getting a whole bunch of people, like here's 264, and there's another train I think about to pull in. So let's see how many people we get after these trains load up in here. All right. We're about 400 people. Watch our oil just go down, 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 down. See that? We can't keep up. We can't import as fast as we can use it when we get 300-400 or more people in there from this one source of import. Now, obviously, what we want to do eventually, look at this, 450 people. This is working beautifully. But the concern is if we get down here too low, this will actually shut down and we'll have 400 people doing nothing because we can't import oil fast enough. So let me show you a quick fix for that problem. It's actually quite easy. And as I said, one of the things we really want to get into to fix it is to be bringing our own oil from the wells, from our oil rigs down near Molna, but we are not there yet. So here's a quick fix for that import problem. We're going to open up one of our import tanks or our input tanks and build it out. We'll build it in rubles. And we're going to set it to only store oil. Remember, this is where we're going to bring trains in and unload the oil from our fields. And we're going to build the pipeline. I'll hit E one time to elevate it, bring it across here, turn it on down, and plug it into the refinery. Build that out. And now we can tell this guy to, using rubles, import oil. So now we'll start importing oil here. Now we've got double sources. See how low that got? But now we have more oil coming in that we can use. So even though we've got 400 workers in here cranking out the fuel and the bitumen, we can keep up even though it's tight. I mean, it's still tight. We could do that again if we need to with a third tanker, which would not hurt us. So there we go. Now we're starting to produce a little bit. Now what we're going to try to get to now is to create our next problem. We're kind of playing whack-a-mole this episode because we want to create another problem. The problem we want to create, we just created a problem with our imports, but now, see, look at this. This poor guy's, he's importing 170 and it's getting used. That's why it's flashing, because it's just being used, constantly used and refreshed, used and refreshed. But here we're gaining, we're not too many workers, and we're gaining a little on our oil reserves. Now we got a whole bunch more workers, and we can't support that many, but that's okay. We're doing great. Now, the next problem we want to create, look at all that pollution. That's beautiful. That means we're producing. Now, the next problem we want to create really is where we are actually starting to see how we're accumulating bitumen, God bless, and well, fuel we're okay on because we got that big train taking it out. But what we want really is, this is perfectly capable of producing so much that we can't carry it out fast enough, particularly with these trucks. So what we want to do is set up the circumstance where we can have a second train and have one train hauling bitumen to Molna and the other one hauling fuel. And then we'll have a really good ruble income. And then the question I have is, do we really want more people over here or not? How are we looking? How many ambulances? We're stacked up with ambulances. But our small medical staff is hanging in there. We're not, we don't have a bunch of people waiting for treatment, so we're doing all right on that front. Our school is unimpressive. We've got too many people wasting time over here waiting on professors. But again, give us time to catch up there. But the overall system seems to be working just fine. Oh, I'll tell you what, we'll build one more flat. So as we have births and people grow, there'll be a place for people to go. But we seem to have our school system where we have no teachers. Where's all our teachers? Oh, that's not going to fly, folks. Especially since I goofed up and brought in all those third world people. I'm going to invest in some college grads to help out. Okay, right now I would rate us unimpressive higher education. Kind of unimpressive. Oh, well, see, again, this is that whole thing with the when I hit that button by mistake and brought in all those third world immigrants. They were cheap, but you get what you pay for. We get people that don't have an education. They're not able to go work, and they're draining our system, and it's hurting us. Over here we're fine. Over here we're getting taxed, but we got some more teachers now coming in, so it'll be better, and we're catching up, so great. So if we can get people educated, then great. Then they can start contributing to society. And let's just take a quick look at our pollution monitor and then call it a day. Pollution. I'm not seeing much. And you also notice, one thing I did notice, there is a definite range for the pollution monitor, and it ends right out here. And by the way, Mr. Developer, I should be able to click that button and it stays so that I can move my cursor. I can't even, if I move off this, I can't. Look at that, even if I want to move the screen a little bit, I have to use one of the Control WASD, because I have to hold this down if I want to actually look at it. But I actually don't even see any red anywhere, which tells me we're not doing a good enough job in our factory. So eventually we're going to need even more people. But we are staying solvent. We are making money. Did we make money last month? I probably blew it all on immigration. Well, we immigrated 44,000 and we still came out ahead, 67,000 in rubles and 28,000 in dollars. So for a fledgling republic, we're doing all right. So what did we do in this one? We expanded some more. We built out some more of this. We built out our rail network to include the university area. And the university area, you know what I think? Do I have students turned on here? No, I don't. Okay, good. Our university area is supporting these buildings and our new university, as well as a school and a kindergarten. These folks are they getting their happiness up? Yes, their happiness is increasing because you see our biggest problem is spirituality. They still want to pray, but that'll slowly leave as a desire. And that first one we did, look at the happiness, it's almost pegged. And food is pegged, and clothing is way up. Healthcare is pretty good. I mean, we're looking all right. All right, let's wrap up right there. So we built that out. We got our four train system going here. We've got we had to do the drive on the right through this station is almost like a pass-through station, similar to the way you do your fuel up here. We're getting pretty good turnout as for workers right now, and good production. And we would love to be bringing in some of our own oil. That'll come later. And we'd love to get into construction. I know all of you would love for us to get into construction. It's not time yet, but it will be very, very soon. I keep promising, and I'm going to quit promising because I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I will do it eventually. So, all right, let's wrap this one up. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player, and I hope you'll join us for our next Workers and Resources Soviet Republic video. Thank you.